Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking. I sound like my YouTube idols. Okay. So let me make this a story. Well, it all started when I was younger. We used to live in a mobile home, a trailer. It was a little rink-a-dink trailer. And yeah. Okay, so all these stories are going to be jumping around, so don't expect that it's a whole long story. But I mean, I don't know, right? So when I was younger, I don't even know how old I was. I don't remember, but I remember I was playing with my brothers. We're playing like tag or something. I don't know. I just remember we were running and trying to catch each other. So I guess tag, right? And I was running across the trailer because, you know, trailers are pretty small or whatever. So I was running from like the back door to the front door, and it's like literally like that. And so when I cross it, we have the living room on this side, and then we have the kitchen on this side, right? If you're facing the back door. And then my room was on this side, and my mom's room was the far end. So my room was visible because our door was open. Well, we actually didn't have... Oh, yeah, we did. It was like a sliding door, but it was like so broken that basically we just would leave it open. And I was running, and in the corner of my eye, it was so fast. Not that I ran like a speeding bullet, but I was passing by pretty fast, and in the corner of my eye, I saw, and it was so quick, right? So I can't believe like that I actually saw everything. So anyway, I was this old lady with like gray hair, like up to here, and she was wearing like a gray shirt or dress, and she was just sitting in the center of my bed, just staring out. So when I saw that, as I ran, I stopped before I even got to the front door, and I reversed back, and I checked out to see what it was that I seen, right? And I went back, and there was nobody there. So I thought that was so weird and creepy, right? And then as we were building the house... Can you stop honking? As we were building the house, my dad was building a 2-story house for us to live in, obviously. And this is what my mom and allegedly my big brother would hear. Now, me and my big brother don't talk to the family anymore. Well, my big brother doesn't talk to our family anymore. So I could never get like his input anymore. Anyway. So there would be, you know, home, or like my mom, right? Let's just say it was my mom by herself. And they would hear like the woods, the planks or whatever, you know, from the house being built. They would hear them like fall, and mom's like, oh crap, you know, because it's the wood to our house. So she's went to go make sure everything was okay, and the wood like never fell, you know, like it had never fallen. So she was like, what the age? And it would happen constantly and all the time or whatever, and there was never any evidence of it falling, and you know, and there was nobody in the house to drop it. So anyways, when the house was built, like it was complete, well, not fully complete, they were building the floors. Now this is a real story, but it didn't, that sounded funny, like everything I'm saying ain't real. No, this, okay, let me just say it. So this man, he was putting the floors into our house, and he fell, and he broke like his ankle. Dude, that was so scary, because you could see like the bone coming out, and we didn't have we had the walls up, but they were just like sticks, you know, and we didn't have stairs, we had a ladder still. And I was like, what happened, you know, my curiosity or whatever. I go and I check it out, and I climb the ladder, and I just poked my head out like this, and I looked, and I could see that man's bone coming out, and he was screaming and hollering, and because it hurt, right? And we were like, what the heck, you know, like what? He didn't even fall from way up high. He just fell like, I think it was like 4 inches, but the man was like heavy set. So, right? So that was weird. And there was like a big blood stain. And it was in my room, my purple room. Anyway, so there was this big blood stain that he left behind that my mom tried to clean. And my mom's a great cleaner, right? And it never went away. It's probably still there, to be honest. Gross. But she tried cleaning it up, and it was so hard, and it just like stained so bad. And but the floor wasn't put in yet, but still my parents like had to cover it and like add like the stick on floor, and then they added a carpet. Then later on I ended up getting married, and my husband at the time had como se dice, he used to work putting floors in, wood floors, so he covered it with the wood floor. He took the carpet out, left the sticker thing on, because I explained about the blood, and he put the floor in. So yeah, luckily we didn't get sued. He wanted to, but he was drinking. That man was drinking, so he couldn't sue us. And yeah, that's one, right? So then as time went, we finally moved into the house. My mom, she used to be, when she was able to walk and see, she used to love cleaning. So at this time is when she like got her first toes amputated. So she was like still hobbling. My mom, such a strong woman, she was still hobbling up the stairs, you know, cleaning everything or whatever. And because we were kids, I think we were like, well, we were teens. I was like in middle school, and my big brother was in high school when the house finally got like built, well, livable, I should say. And she says that she was upstairs, and she had just got done cleaning my brother's room. So there's 3 rooms, a living room, and a bathroom. So she would go through every room and clean up for us, pick up everything, you know, and So she would pick up everything in her room and she would just go one by one, right? So she was in my little brother's room, and for whatever reason my little brother's room was always like freaking haunted, right? She was laying on her back on his bed because she had just got done cleaning, so she's like, right? And she closed her eyes and she took like a couple of second nap, but you know how that goes. When you take a couple of second naps, the next thing you know is like 30 minutes. So she says that she closed her eyes and she felt like somebody grab her face like this, laying back, just rub it back like that. And she couldn't move, and she was like basically sleep paralysis. And so she freaked out because she couldn't move, and she says that all she could see was the ceiling fan. And she was freaking out because she, like I kept saying, she couldn't move. So she's like, and then I don't know how she snaps out of it, and she like ran as fast as she could with limping. She's so funny. All the way downstairs, and she said she didn't go back up there that day. And then when we got there, she didn't want to freak us out, because those were our rooms. And I'm like, Mom, who does that? What kind of mother? So that was one. She has several stories, right? So when my brother was in Iraq, he came home for a visit. I think he was with us for like 2 weeks or something, and we were off in school. I was in high school at this time, and he was downstairs eating, and my mom used to make some bomb ass. When she tries now, it's still freaking bomb. And she blind, so if anybody who knows anybody blind, you'd be surprised at all the things that a blind person can do. So, we let her do her thing. So anyway, she was cooking, and she said she was finishing up making tortillas, and then all of a sudden we hear like footsteps up the stair, or not up the stairs, upstairs, going across from my brother's room to my big brother's room. And my big brother was downstairs eating, and my mom and him looked at each other, and they looked up at the ceiling, and my mom, they didn't say anything to each other, but my brother ran up the stairs to see what it was, and he just basically kind of like poked his head up from the stairs to the railing, and there was nothing there. So it was like that forever. And we would always hear footsteps. Like, there were so many times that I heard footsteps, and they were always running. Like, it was like little girl wearing heels and running from across my brother's room. So it'd be like this end all the way. Well, I mean, I don't think you can see that, but it was from one end to the other. And we would never see anything, so we're like, what the hell? My mom's like, it sounded like when you were little, and because I would always wear little baby girl heels or whatever. And she says that, it just sounded like a little girl running across. And like I said, it was several times. So then my best friend, she would spend the night. She lived across the street, and she would spend the night with us sometimes, because my parents would never let me spend the night anywhere. So she would come to us, and I mean us with my little brother, because he was like, I love my brother to death, okay? And I always have, always will, always do, always did. I don't know, but he was always a part of like our little clique, my best friend. And okay. So at the time we were like already 17 or whatever, and oh, I think I was 8. I don't remember honestly, but we were smoking the devil's lettuce, and she had gotten pregnant. So she was like 15 or 14. She was 15. And she had gotten pregnant, and the baby was like 10 months or something like that. And he was old enough to like crawl, you know? So she would put him to sleep, and, you know, because he was still little, where he would take long naps. And she would put him to sleep when it was like nap time, or when he was getting sleepy or whatever, right? And we would put him on the bed, and we would like cover him, like make sure he wouldn't, if he rolls over, there's like, you know, when you're sleeping and you roll over, but there's something here, so you don't continue moving over, right? So that's what we would do to him. And it sounds terrible, but we were young, okay? We were all young. And we would go to my brother's room to smoke the devil's lettuce. And it was so okay. So we're laying down, and we're literally laughing because, well, I'm not gonna go into deep to that, you know, but we're laughing our butts off, and we were having fun. And we're inside, and this is during the day, okay? So we're inside, and we hear a whistle, and it sounded so far away, but at the same time it sounded like it was in the room. And it was like, oh shit, it was like, right? And we're like, did you hear that? All three of us were like, did you hear that? And we freaked out. And, you know, we were freaking out because we're like, what the hell? And we heard it 3 times, you know? And so we're like, what is it? You know, like, my friend's like, oh, tell me it's one of you, you know? And we're all like stoned. So we're just sitting there, and then we didn't even think about the child until later on. I was like, oh my gosh, the baby's over there. And she's like, shut up, I'm so scared, I don't want to go right now, I don't want to go over there, you know? And then my brother's just laughing at us, but no, he left later. So, you know, he's just sitting there, probably frozen, because he wasn't saying anything. And I was like, oh, you know, nobody was going, and I was afraid for the baby, right? He's my godson. So I was like, oh my gosh, you know, and let's not blame her, because, you know, she was like 15 years old, and, you know, I mean, we all make mistakes, okay? So, you know, like I said, she's like, don't scare me, because, you know, I can't get up, I'm so scared, you know? And then I just shot up, and I ran to my room. And the scary thing was that the baby was literally, he was sleeping, but he was at the edge of the bed. Like, one more move and he's down on the floor. And he's like months old, so, you know, I mean, that's obviously really, ow. That's obviously really dangerous, you know, it's a dangerous fall. So we're like, oh my gosh, what was that? It was like basically not a warning, but, you know, like, well, I guess a warning, but like telling us, you know, go protect him. You know, he's not okay. I don't know. And it was just so weird, and that stuck with us forever. Like, I still talk about it with her. So anyways, and there was another occasion where I think she left the baby at the house with her mom, and she was chilling with us, and then it was broad daylight, and she had her foot hanging from my bed, and my bed was like a queen, like it was ginormous. And so she had her foot hanging off the bed, and she says she literally felt someone grab her foot and pull it. And she screamed because I was actually taking a dump, and she was alone in my room. My little brother was in his room, and like I said, I was taking a dump. So she screams, and I'm like, "What happened? I'm taking a dump." And my brother heard the scream, and he ran to her room, or my room, and he ran to her, and he was like, "What happened?" She's like, "Somebody pulled my foot. Somebody pulled my foot." And I can hear her yelling, freaking out, you know. So I'm like wiping, hurrying it up, you know, and she was like, "Something pulled my foot, and you know, your house is so creepy, and why me?" And you know, whatever. And so that was kind of funny, but obviously really scary. And she still tells that story to this day. So she ain't playing, you know. And then that was one. And then when I when I was like 21, and I was married, okay? And I'm not married to him anymore, but I still hate him. So he was going off to work, and I didn't have a job. He took care of me or whatever, or took care of me. And he was off to work, and he's like, "I don't know if we're gonna have work today, so might be back, just so you know," whatever. And I was like, "Okay, well, be careful, blah blah blah." He leaves the house, and then like 15 minutes pass by, or something like that, right? Let's just say 15 minutes, and I hear the door open, you know, because we don't have central AC where it runs through the whole house. Okay, our house is a little ghetto, a lot of ghetto. And we have the fans that go on the window, the AC units, I think that's what they're called. I don't know. So anyway, most of our doors are always closed for that reason. Anyways, and I hear the door open. I hear it close. And I could feel him walking towards the bed. You know, I mean, it wasn't like a distance to the bed. It was just like literally maybe the size of a car's length, right? A car, not a truck, because those are huge. But like I said, I feel him walking towards me, and I just kind of, I closed my eyes real tight to pretend I'm sleeping, and I feel him lay next to me, like where you put your knee and then you just kind of drop to the bed, you know. So I turn around to spook him, because, you know, obviously he probably thought I was sleeping, and he wasn't going to try to wake me up or whatever, right? I mean, so I turn around and I'm like, boo! And there was nobody in that freaking bed with me, but I felt all of it. So I kind of stood there like, and then I jumped off. Boy, when I tell you I ran down the stairs, I don't even know if I even stepped on the steps. I just like down the stairs. Excuse me. Down the stairs. I was so petrified. And that was that, right? And one time I was going up the stairs and I was really stoned. And my brother ran upstairs with me. We were going to my big brother's room because my big brother had been gone for, I think he was already married at this time. So that room was like out for the picking. And my little brother was staying there. He had all his junk there, you know, like it was his room now. So he's like, hurry up, I'll meet you upstairs, you know, because we were downstairs watching cable. I think we had cable at the time. And I don't know, the thing is, we were going upstairs, and as soon as I get up, you know, because we're dumb. When we go up the stairs, we crawl up the stairs. Oh crap. You know, we crawl up the stairs and like a dog, you know, whatever. I guess that's how you can explain it. So we're like crawling up the stairs. Well, he was already up there, and it was just me downstairs by myself because I was drinking water. And water, who am I kidding? It was probably like soda. And I go up the stairs, and as soon as I get to the top stairs, I hear what I thought was my brother whisper my name. Lourdes. And then I was like, oh, this sneaky son of a gun trying to scare me, you know? So I go like this, boo, into the restroom, because we always leave the restroom light on, you know, for protection. Well, mostly for the darkness down the stairs, because like I said, our house is not cool. You know, we have lighting, but it's not like those nice houses, okay? So the restroom light is always on, just so we go down the stairs and don't fall. And then, like I said, it was like, Lourdes. And I'm like, boo. And I look into the restroom. There was nobody there. And I was so scared that I ran to my brother's room, or to, you know, now my brother's room. And the whole time I was running to my brother, it was like, you know, when you're running and somebody's going to catch you, and they're just so close behind you, you know, running, and you're like, you can feel like almost a tickle in the back. And I felt like that. And I opened my brother's door, and even knock, nothing. I tried to open it, and he was there, I guess, waiting for me to knock, you know. And I open it, and he's standing there. He's like, boo. And I'm like, move. And then I told him everything. It was so creepy. Oh my God, I was so scared. So here comes the crazy part. So all these things that were happening, there was like a bunch of stuff happening, right? And we were like, it was like almost enough where even my mom, I think at this point she was already blind. And we kept hearing stuff, right? And they kept scaring mom, and I think actually she was going blind, or she was already blind, but she can still see shadow. Right now she says she only sees like when the sun is really bright. She can see like the brightness of the sun, I guess. And so, you know, she was like, she kept saying, you know, there's somebody trying to mess with me, and I just know it because, you know, she kept getting scared, and they kept scaring her, and she's like, I'm tired of it, you know. And poor mommy. So we're like, so finally I was like, all right, I'm gonna call a paranormal people. And because this is it, right? I mean, crap, it was happening almost every day, especially after mom went blind. And it's like, if it was ghosts or something, you know, or whatever, they were really after mom, because she was the one who was getting scared a lot at this point. Like, I kept hearing stuff myself, like steps and noises, like if people were there, but there was nobody there, you know. And So, like I said, it was getting on my nerves because mom was really scared about it. And I was like, let's call paranormal people. So I emailed them. Like, I don't even know who it is. And I don't even know. I think if the emails don't get deleted on themselves, I think it's still somewhere under my trillion emails that I don't even read. But I emailed them and I told them everything that was happening. So they call me back and they're like, hey, yeah, we got your email. It was a lady. We got your email, and like, this is some crazy stuff, like, can you tell me some history about your house and whatever. So the fact that the house was built by us, that was crazy, because it was built by us. Usually if it's a house, it's something like attached to something, or she said that maybe it's like the brick that we used, and we're like, I don't know, I'm not following, but anyway, she was like, let me set up a meeting and we can see each other and let me know if anything goes down. So the meeting was gonna be like within like 2 weeks, I think. And I was like, yes ma'am, literally the next day, like, it was like I said, almost every day that we would hear something, and literally the next day, nothing. We didn't hear anything about anything. No thumping, no footsteps, and we're like, what the hell, do you think that maybe like the ghost knows that we called, and ever since then it's been kind of quiet in the house. There was this one instance also that my mom said that it was somebody like messing with her. Turns out that she asked them for the name. My mom is so crazy. So she asked, who are you? And he like didn't tell her, but like, like showed her in her mind that it was basically one of my brothers and I's friends. I used to go to school with his big brother, and my brother went to school with his little brother. So it was him. Both of these boys got murdered in our neighborhood, and yeah, and so it was basically him, and mom didn't know that they had gotten murdered. I mean, we're, like, it was so crazy. But anyway, that was that. So it was pretty creepy, and my mom says she still hears things, but rarely, right? It's nothing compared to like before, where we were like, literally, we were so petrified. But anyway, that's my house. That's my house for you. But I'm done with my stories. I gotta go to work. I don't know how late I am, because I've been just storytelling. I gotta go see my my lawyer today, because we're gonna make some phone calls. But anyway, okay, hasta la vista, baby.